the idea of them being holed up and she just comes up with Frankenstein. Meanwhile, it's like me and my friends are just hanging out and like disassociating.
Yeah. I'm like scrolling Instagram being like, hey, look at that seal.
Yeah.
It
I
was
love
like the
seals too.
Jackbox of the 1800s, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This was like the mother of all quiplashes.
Yeah.
And some motherfucker like voted for the other story too, just to be like cheeky.
Like, oh no, I don't know about this one written by a woman.
Yeah. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Oh man. And also like real quickly, have you guys read this book, like Wuthering Heights? Like,
No, I haven't gotten around to it. I've heard it's kind of a slog to get through, honestly.
I read it in the 8th grade, and it wasn't like an assigned reading. I just read it like for fun because I was a nerd, and I really liked it at the time, but that was many, many years ago now, so I don't know how I would feel about it now.
did you like
when was this written?
the
So it-
18th century? Like, it's somewhere in there. Like
See, like 18th century literature is like real tough.
1847.
1847.
Also,
Yeah, I
Frankenstein
said
was
that.
1818.
Yeah.
To answer this question,
Wow.
which is
Yeah,
great.
like female writers for cooking back then.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like I had the thing where unfortunately I am like starting to read more. Like I try to like read a book a month basically, or like listen to an audiobook a month. But like this one is I'm not like my literacy skills haven't caught up to this yet. Like,
It's
like,
hard.
I was like,
It is hard.
yeah. And then just like all the names are a little confusing and stuff. And then I had the brain disease thing of like I watched the movie first and I was like confused of like what was going on. It's like
So different. It's like
Yeah.
completely different than the book. It's
Yeah.
What I appreciate about what Emerald Fennell, I think, set out to do, not about the movie itself. The movie I'm kind of mid on, but what she set out to do, I feel like is essentially like the fan fiction that she created in her mind when she was like a teenager, probably reading Wuthering Heights for the first time. It's like all the things that she extrapolated from it that resonated with her that she thinks back on, like kind of similar to me, how like I read it when I was 13 and I don't really remember whole things about it, but there are parts that really stand out to me. Like I remember, the scene where she's talking to Nellie about like, I'm in love with Heathcliff, but he only hears part of it. He only hears the bad part and then he leaves. Like I have a visceral like memory of reading that and like being like, I can't believe this is happening to these two people. I felt it so strongly in that moment, and so like there are things probably that she pulled moments like that she pulled out that made it into the movie for better or for worse. But I appreciate that concept. And that's how Wuthering Heights is in, quotation marks or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Those are like load bearing quotation marks though.
Yes.
They're
Doing a
like-
lot of
what
work
it-
there.
What are they actually like bearing though? Like not a single person who like was a detractor of this movie like was ever giving this a chance from day one. And I haven't seen the movie, I happen to like her previous films. Like I know that they're not like the deepest thing and I know that they're not like perfect. But like just the discourse with her just makes me so like so nervous to wade into. Like cuz sometimes I'm like I don't know, like men make a lot of like mid movies too. Like let women make mid if they want. But then sometimes people are like, "Well, did you know that Emerald said this?" Or she did that, and I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, I didn't. Like, just chill.
Oh man. Well, let's have some more discourse on this episode. I've been meaning to listen to that. Click.
Remember that record that you bought me like 2 years ago? Well, I just remembered that it's sitting in the closet. So I called you up just to tell you I've been meaning to listen to that. I've been meaning to listen to that. Why don't you come over and talk about it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Why don't you come over and talk about it?
All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to I've been meaning to welcome to I've been meaning to listen to that, the podcast where we go through albums and movies, quotation marks we've been meaning to listen to and use it as a conduit to learn about each other and our guests. I'm Andrew Ambrose Lee.
I'll go. I'm Harper Thompson.
If we were
I'm
doing
Dakota
it,
Foss.
I fucked up. I don't know if we were doing introductions. I'm
Sean Wilkinson.
I think you did that last time I was on too.
Yeah. Hey, friends. Yeah. So we're here to talk about Wuthering Heights, primarily the album. We'll get into like discourse about the movie. We'll get into discourse about the discourse. We'll be very meta, a little bit. We'll also talk about. I think we'll talk about like where Charli XCX is in her career, what she's trying to do with this, and the moments. You know, if she like understood the assignment, quote unquote, and like did her job as like creating a soundtrack that's appropriate for the movie, creating a Charli XCX project. But those are a few things we'll talk about. Let's just get into it in terms of, so when this trailer dropped and you heard that like Charli XCX was doing a soundtrack for this movie, what were your thoughts on that?
Thrilled.
Remind me a little bit. Was any music actually teased in the trailer? Yeah, yes, Harper.
Thank you.
You in the back.
In the first one, it was Everything is Romantic. It was like kind of a remix of Everything is
okay.
Romantic in the first trailer. And then they came out with, I think, Chains of Love in the second version of the trailer.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. And then
But
like
it
House was released, I think, before that, or something.
House was the first single that was released, but did they like tease Chains of Love?
I think they did, but maybe I'm misremembering.
I feel like
But
I
I know
remember
for
looking
sure.
for the remix of Everything is Romantic, and did she release it?
No, it doesn't exist.
I know, and I was like, I really liked what I heard.
It's an awesome like teaser. It really works as a teaser, and I like the orchestral like sort of flourishes on that.
I'm sure it'll leak eventually. Like we all know, like we all regularly log into Charlie's Google Drive. You know,
Charli 1 2 3 4 like
yeah.
like her new password is like with an exclamation point at the end to throw the
Honestly,
hackers
like
off.
that like reminds me like of the early days when I was getting into Charlie, like a decade ago at this point. Like it truly was wild. Like it was like every other week I would log on to Reddit and see like leak on pop heads, and it would be like 20 new Charlie songs. And the top comment was always like, "Girl, your password."
Get it together.
Okay, so House was the first single that was released in November of 2025, but then 6 months ago, the first trailer was with Everything is Romantic, and then 4 months ago, the second trailer was with Chains of Love, and I think that's also when the single came out around that time.
That's right. That's
So-
right. That's
Okay,
right.
that tracks.
Okay. Yeah. Like, what was your expectation around this? Like the soundtrack,
Well, I
the
think it
movie, all
was-
that.
I think for me it was tricky because like I don't know anything about the book really. And so like yeah, I mean like truly all I had to go off of was like the teaser, whatever it's called, trailer. And I remember getting like kind of excited for the movie because it looked really beautiful, and it is still a really like beautiful looking movie. And so yeah, I was kind of intrigued to hear how, I mean, Charlie's known for being so like hyper pop and electronic, to see that clashed with like the beauty of like, what is it, like the English
Moors.
countryside, the Moors, yeah. Yeah, it had me intrigued, but
Yeah, I was so excited for both the album and the movie. I just think there's something about the thing that really spoke to me was the bread kneading. I don't know if you remember that shot, but like, it was so good to me, and I was like,
Oh.
I want the whole movie to be this feeling, right? This like kind of like weird, horny, but like it's, otherness. I don't know, this weird, horny otherness. And I think Charlie feels like such a natural fit to tap into that. But I wanted the movie also to be all of that, which it wasn't. But
yeah. And that's like how I feel about the album, was like it gives you a little taste of something and then it doesn't give it to you. Like we'll get into it, but with the opening track, it's like it kind of gives you a certain sound, and then I feel like it never hits that same sound again. But
Yeah, I think when the initial trailer for Everything is Romantic dropped, I honestly kept like a pretty even keel, because I was like, I don't know what to expect from this. Like I don't know like this could potentially mean so many different things. Like I don't know if Charli is helping like direct like more of a soundtrack that's like instrumental and like remixes of her songs, something like that, or with what it ended up being, which is like essentially an entirely new album. And then even from that, you kind of get like the split decision tree where it's like, okay, like is this going to be like she seemed to be putting about as much weight as she could reasonably be expected for. But like, is this Wuthering Heights album going to be like truly the next Charli era, or is she just kind of,
doing like Harley Quinn or something? Yeah.
Yeah, like tapping into like the vibe of the movie, which I would argue is like, I mean, as someone who hasn't read the book or seen the movie, that kind of is what she like. She ended up being like, "Yep, I'm gonna make an album that kind of serves me a little bit," and like I like Charli's been a pretty outspoken fan of Emerald's work. But yeah, I kept a pretty even keel like until House was released. When House was released, like I was truly like that like one meme where it's like, oh, Charli announced like a movie soundtrack, I Sleep, but then like House, and then it was like real shit,
Yeah.
like I very quickly was like, oh, this like House is infinitely more interesting and bold than like I could have imagined it would be, and was such a crazy thing to drop as like the first official thing post Brat remix.
Yeah.
It's an interesting soundtrack too, because it's like it's in an interesting place. I feel like because you can't really call it you can't call it a score. Really, it's not a score because it's not all under the whole movie. But it's not quite a soundtrack because not all the songs are in the movie. But then it's not quite fully an album because some of the songs are in the movie. So it's like a weird. I'm trying to think of other soundtracks that are
There
like this,
are
I
like,
guess.
but there at the same time there are a lot of songs in the movie. Like there's House is in the movie, Wall of Sound is in the movie, Chains of Love is in the movie, Funny
Yeah.
Mouth is in Funny Mouth is a sex montage, Open Up is the breakup scene, and then like what's it called? Always Everywhere is the closing credit song. Like basically. So a lot of like more almost half the albums in the movie.
Well,
I
sure,
will
yeah.
say that thinking back to my childhood, the iconic Pokemon the first movie soundtrack, which was a veritable who's who of 1999 or whatever that movie dropped. That the soundtrack was stacked, but only like half the songs on the actual CD were in the movie.
Yeah.
But there were some bangers like Soda Pop by Britney Spears, nowhere to be seen in the movie.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of other movies with like iconic soundtracks. I would say like for me like Twilight is a huge one. Like all 5 of those movies had like, they were getting every big artist. I mean, the first one was like specific Paramore, and that kind of vibe. And the second one was like specific like Bon Iver vibe. But then 3, 4, and 5 were like, oh, who's hot right now? We're getting them in the Twilight soundtrack. So, those had kind of a
I
Yeah,
guess
or
I'm,
even Lord with Hunger Games.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what the process was of her being like approached to do this was, because like I don't know. It's interesting I would be curious if Emerald Fennell was like, I want you to write a whole soundtrack for this thing, and then did they just not end up using all the stuff, and so she had these extras? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think she asked her to do a song, and then Charli read the screenplay and said, "Oh, I have an album I can do." Like,
That's
okay.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. She's like, "There's a whole album in this for me." So then that's what ended up happening.
I think that this was like a very much I know that like her and John Cale's the guy who does
Mhm.
that. I know that they both kind of extensively wrote about like the genesis of that song, and then Charli I think expand on like her thoughts with the movie. I think that this was also like very much a convenient like meeting of events for everyone involved, really, because I think that Charli's doing the like thing where she's like, oh, if I act crazy and I keep pointing out how self-conscious I am, nobody will actually think I'm self-conscious thing. Like, I think that like the success of Brat is like what she's wanted for such a long time. And now that she has it, I think that she's very much like in a somewhat of a pickle on how to move away from that. And I'm sure that we'll get into it more in this discussion. But I mean, like everything about the beginning of this year feels like such an identity crisis might be the best way to put it, or just thinking out loud session of like sort of where she wants to take her career between dropping this album, the movie also comes out, then the moment and the moment soundtrack also comes out, and it just kind of seems to be like flooding the zone of like, here's a bunch of things that like are technically after Brat, but nothing's kind of in the official Charli canon unless it pops off and I say it is.
Like, let's see what sticks, kind of.
Yeah, like if something happens to stick and it like blows people away, then like, that's a way for her to be like, yeah, you know what? That's my next era. I don't really think that's happening. So like this just kind of seems to be a way of like, just making sure that those creative muscles don't like atrophy.
Yeah. And also just like experiment. I think like she's been doing like film related things like the year before also, like with the Bottom soundtrack, and then some other things too. Like she was like a Barbie. She did like a song for Barbie too. That's in the movie. So
she
like
plays herself in Overcompensating.
Yes.
As well. And she has another movie coming out that at the movie theater I go to, they play the trailer every single time before every movie. It doesn't matter what you're seeing. She's going to be in this movie called Eruptia, which looks kind of interesting.
Ooh.
About like it's like a romantic farce where there's a volcano erupting.
Wow.
Lest we forget, she was also in the Gossip Girl reboot. Can we
course.
pour one out for the Gossip Girl reboot?
Oh, and Jeremy O. Harris was also in the Gossip Girl reboot, and he's in Eruptia. So
Wow.
There we go.
it's all
Can I
connected.
give a quick Gossip Girl hot take?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the reboot was better than the original show.
Wow, that is hot. I tried to go back and rewatch the original, and I like couldn't get past like Chuck Bass's like everything
Like
he does at the beginning.
multiple sexual assaults
Yes,
in the show
yes.
and in real life.
Yeah. So then I was like, I'm gonna just leave this in the past where it belongs.
Yeah, no, Gossip Girl, like the original Gossip Girl, is not good. We leave shows on for our 13-year-old lab when we go out of the house, and I started putting on Gossip Girl just because it's like long and I don't have to think about it. She's already seen The OC, Friday Night Lights, pretty like all the good stuff. And every time I come back or like leave and I catch like a scene, I'm like, man, this show is ass.
Like, damn, you watch this, dog?
Yeah.
I guess like that's funny. I guess like to like talk about like Dakota's like point about like this being an identity crisis. I think post Brat, she's like, this is the thing she's always wanted, and now that she's got like, she still has to like kind of maintain it. Like I think like now she's stressed about I think she was stressed about maintaining it, and the moment was all about that. Like, I reached this pinnacle, how do I maintain it? And like the weirdness of being a pop star, how strange it is, how like cool and awesome it is, but also like kind of quietly humiliating and like a little like dehumanizing it could be sometimes, and like how you could like lose focus of like in how like she's still like stressed and unhappy even though she's like experiencing this great success. So I think like, but I think like I think like if she like just went away for 5 years and didn't release any music, she might lose her spot. She might lose her spot a little bit. So she's like kind of putting stuff out there, but like without the expectation of like, this is the next album. Like this is Charli XCX 7 or whatever it is. But yeah, I think it's so it's like kind of like, I think she's like wanting to do something a little more underground, and I think the way to do that is to be a part of this movie, because the movie itself is such a firewall of discourse. like it's still like this firewall of discourse, and like the discourse around the movie subsumes the discourse around the album, so that when we talk about the album, it's usually just the album was very good, So I think that's an interesting so it's a way to like do something that like flies under the radar while still being a huge blockbuster movie, while still being putting something out, like keeping the muscle strong, like you were saying.
I think there's a lot of there's a lot of like interesting things that you brought up, because like when you talk about like, if Charli goes away for 5 years and she like loses her spot, like I think that brings up the point of like, what is her spot? Because before Brat, like, yeah, she had Boom Clap and Fancy and whatnot like forever ago. Doesn't that feel like a lifetime ago?
Yeah.
But like she had those and she was like, on the cusp of being like a main pop girl then. But like Charli has spent the bulk of her career being like I'm not saying she's in like the Kia Asylum or whatever, but like or Kaya, however you say it, like, but like she spent like this entire career like being known as this well-connected artist who is like really kind of like bubbling under the surface and like pushing boundaries like artistically, and like using that well-connected like Rolodex of her to hit people up and being like, yeah, let's do some crazy stuff. Let's get Cupcake on a track. Like let's get let's just throw all these people together and like see what happens. Like, I mean, the music video for Boys, like how many boys are in that music video? But I think that like this whole Brat era has really been her like going through this metamorphosis where it like, in becoming a main pop girl, I think that maybe the movie explores this, Andrew, because I haven't seen it, even though I consider myself
it's a movie
like
for you. It's like you're the demographic.
But like I would push back. I've been having a lot of conflicting feelings with Charli. Like Charli, like the celebrity and like where she is in the pop canon lately, like. All of which, like, none of it has anything to do with her music. Like, the music has been consistently great. Like, if we got through Crash, we could get through anything. But I just think like she's no longer that well-connected person who's bubbling under, who like really, I think, puts people on the same way that she used to. Yeah. Like now she's hanging out with like Kylie Jenner and like those people, and she's doing like main pop girl things. And like, again, maybe the movie deals with this, but like I don't feel like seeing the movie right now, because I feel like right now I'm waiting for the heat from like Brat to still die down a little bit. Like I think that the people who came on board with Brat, maybe this is like super gatekeepy of me, and I'm like sounding really annoying about this. But like honestly though, like if you're coming on like the Charli XCX Express and she's like, Brats, are we all smoking our parliaments today? And it's like, no, we're angels, and we smoked our parliaments yesterday.
No, that's your your point. Like,
Sean looks pissed.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, but then I think first of all, like the moment kind of kills Brat. It like kind of puts a capper on the Brat era, like, and like stepping into the new era of like, I'm gonna explore film, I'm gonna explore movies, I'm gonna like soundtrack movies, gotta be in movies, kind of like be in the public eye, but not like maybe put the next Charli project like on the back burner a bit, in terms of like, it's like, and she's like wrestling with like, I'm being overexposed. It's like the cringiest thing to like try to make another viral moment, so like I'm just gonna do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I guess I like that's definitely like what I've gleaned from like that. And maybe we're getting a little too far away from the Wuthering Heights album, but like seeing things like the Poppy like Super Bowl commercial, like,
oh yeah.
Like, yeah, is this part of the rollout for the moment, or is it just you like doing this ad campaign? Like it's so easy to couch it in that. And I get that that's like the whole point of the film, but like I feel like I need more distance before like I can approach something like that. And like, you know, I'm a massive fan of like her musical output, but I think like I don't know. I'll comment thank you Charlie on all of her Instagram posts, but like I wouldn't consider myself a stan. Like I don't
Wow.
need to go with her every step of the way, you know? Like she's allowed to do her thing. Like it's cool that she's really into like the film stuff right now. I can't necessarily say that I'm like incredibly interested in that as riveting as her cameo in Gossip Girl was.
Wow. Character growth question mark. Yeah, any other I guess like any thoughts on like kind of yeah, just Charlie's like career at this point? Like any comments on that, like the two of you?
I mean, I think that's like kind of going off of what Dakota was saying, but I think people in general just get too like I guess parasocial about artists and musicians as far as like why are they doing this? They shouldn't be doing this. And it's like anyone who's an artist knows like interests change. Like you want to sometimes you want to pursue something else. Like and that's I don't know, I'm very much in a mindset of like art should be for yourself first and foremost. And like obviously you want it to appeal to people, but like it should be for you first and foremost. So like I don't know, people who are getting like hung up on what Charlie's doing is like so stupid to me.
I gotta do this.
Like I would rather see someone
for
go.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I would rather see someone go a different direction and fail than like keep putting out slop that's boring to them, you know, or like I don't know,
trying to recreate Brat, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think about the place of the Wuthering Heights album, like within like her work. One thing that's kind of interesting to me is you see Justin Raisin is a producer on about half the songs on this album, and he's like an early Charlie producer. Like he did, like Nuclear Seasons, like all that stuff from back in the day. And that's why I feel like a couple times on this album, we can kind of talk more specifically, but I feel there's a little boom clappiness to a couple things on that going on this album, which I don't hate. I love boom. I listen genuinely to the Fault in Our Stars soundtrack just on my own, you know? So
It's a
I
banger.
like Boom Clap.
Got it
I
on
like the
vinyl.
whole album. I love Birdie, you know, but yeah, I do think that it's kind of interesting that like Brat, I feel like is so different from where she started. And then now immediately on this next album, she's working with a producer again, who she worked with at the beginning to kind of go back and do like just a different sound. So
Yeah. And I think like right now she's also like kind of picking up tools along the way, like to her next project in terms of like adding the cinematic flourishes, like kind of seamlessly combining the electronic with the orchestral. And then like I believe her next album will kind of synthesize all of it into something new.
You kind of brought this up earlier too about how like doing a project like this is like, and this isn't even like a fully formed take, I guess, but like, and I don't know what I'm really trying to say with it, but like to talk about this album, you have to talk about the movie, you know? And they're always going to be like compared together. So like, no matter how good the album is, it's for me, I'm going to be like seeing the movie first and not liking the movie kind of influenced how I feel about this album. And like, it could be the exact opposite, you know, but like, I don't fully know what I'm trying to say with this, but
can the album be
like, can it
better
stand on its own?
Can it stand on its own? Can it be better than the movie? It's like, you know,
Right.
I think so, because I have listened to this album many, many, many times, and I love it a lot. I really like this album, and I was extremely disappointed by the movie. So
Yeah.
I think that, and I think part of that is because, so I think that Charlie took the script and kind of similar to what I said about Emerald Fennell taking moments from the book, I think similarly, Charlie picked moments from the script. It's not like she was writing one to one, like, you know, Heathcliff is walking along the moors. Like, that's not the words to the song. She's taking the feeling that's in the moment and she's expanding that into a song. She's taking the feeling of, you know, the house. She's taking, you know, she's like picking up like specific things and expanding it into their own thing. And I think that they work really well independently. I actually don't think the songs were used incredibly in the movie. Like how they were placed, I don't love that much either.
Mhm.
So I think that it's much the songs themselves, maybe not as an album, like a full start to finish album standalone, not her greatest.
Mhm.
But like I think the songs are much better than the movie is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think for me it's I'm looking at the movie and being like, well, the album's not as bad as the movie. So like it's kind of boosting the album up a little bit, you know?
There's definitely been like albums that have broke containment from
Right.
like soundtracking movies in the past. I can't think of like entire albums, but like
Yeah.
nobody thinks of like Batman when they think of Kiss from a Rose, They think like, oh, this guy at karaoke sucks at singing.
Yeah, I feel like well, I don't know how true this maybe this is a good question for you guys, but like 1,000 Years by Christina Perri is like such a wedding song to me now.
Oh,
Like
sure.
it was for Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 and it's extremely rooted in Twilight. Do you guys have that association or
I think I just kind of think of it as a standalone song, honestly. Like not even weddings per se, but like
Mhm.
yeah, just on its own.
It's so funny, like the Twilight soundtrack is just like so iconic, and like not to say that like I have a fantastic time like watching Twilight. Like Twilight's definitely like camp, like
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, but like the sound, it's funny that like that campy movie is just juxtaposed with like a legitimately fantastic, like no couching or qualifying is needed, just like a great record.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the songs on this though, like and like kind of themes about Wuthering Heights, the album, and then also, yeah, let's talk about that. And also, we could talk about did she do a good job like scoring the movie per se? Like, did she do? I think that's something to consider too, because I think the lyricism is not that important. Like, I think the lyricism is pretty good on this album. Like, there's some really poetic things on this album, like losing gallons of blood, stuff like that. Like, I still hear your laughter tearing through the rain. Like, some beautiful, and she was inspired by Bronte's like poetry, like kind of like I wanted to like write lyrics in that prose. But at the same time, since it's a movie soundtrack in a way, you don't want to like distract from the movie or like be too obvious or on the nose or just like, man, I'm in this house. This sucks. I think I'm gonna die in this house. Like it'd be like, it's not
On the news.
yeah, like it's on the nose, but not too on the nose. That's like not like it's distracting or like it's or the lyrics aren't that like so moving and beautiful that it's like why am I listening? Why am I watching this movie instead of listening to this album? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Charlie is kind of like after seeing the movie, because again, I didn't know really the plot of this movie. But I think Charlie's is kind of a cool choice because again, obviously she's so electronic and hyper poppy, industrial, whatever. And I guess like a theme of the movie is like it's set in this like gorgeous the moors or whatever, and then but there's all this like internal conflict happening. So there's that weird like clash against each other. And so I think it's cool to see like the beauty of the movie clash with like this kind of electronic music. So I think I think the soundtrack in that regard is a cool choice.
Yeah, I like it in terms of like her vocals in the movie are used like Enya in terms of like it's like insert like she's kind of like this siren song in the background while like crazy things are happening in the movie. But I feel like the way it's utilized in the movie is like whenever the director is like doing something kind of really out there, doing something kind of transgressive and like trying to edgy and such, like Charlie is being used to like insert modernity into this ancient story. So like it's kind of like signifying like this is like yes, this is like a classic story that's been told time and time again. And like it's kind of like the in the back you kind of hear like Charlie's like wailing and stuff and like kind of like oh wow like this is interesting. But it doesn't like also it doesn't like ruin it doesn't take me out of it either.
Yeah.
I remember like a lot of people were speculating like when that picture got released of like Margot Robbie in like the plastic dress, like people were like speculating that it was kind of like the converse being like in Marie Antoinette, and that, you know, like kind of the fan fiction, like letting modernity like kind of bleed into the story a little more. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't.
I do think tonally the movie was pretty it felt kind of all over the place.
I had no problem with like the anachronistic stuff, like people being like, I don't think you have to be pure to the original text in that, like, you
No,
know, the
of course not.
costumes, yeah, obviously. And then like I think the production design is so cool that you can forgive a lot of, you know, like the hand chandeliers or whatever, and the skin room. Blah. But so cool. And like, I don't know, but I don't know where I was going with this, but I think that the soundtrack works in that way where it's like we're just having a lot of fun stuff in here for the sake of it.
I guess like and I know we're talking about the movie, sorry, but I guess tonally I meant more like it felt funny at times and I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be funny. The horniness felt too out of place at times. Like the dog stuff, I didn't fully it didn't do anything for me. So.
Your seat wasn't damp.
I wanted it to be like literally all dog stuff. That was the best part of the movie to me. Like, no, but I mean not specifically that.
It was just it felt so out of the left field to some
totally mixed. I agree, and I think it's because she should have like leaned one way or the other.
Right.
Like, and so like what I really like about the Charli album that I think Emerald Fennell should have leaned into more is the yearning of it all, right? Like we don't get in the movie enough, like I want to feel like I'm like ripping my heart out because Heathcliff has gone, you know, like that's, and I think Charli actually does get to that in several songs, specifically Wall of Sound. Like that song makes me feel like I'm dying in the best way. And I think that Emerald Fennell needed to get to that place and she never did. Like the only scene that even comes a little bit close is like that Nelly confession scene, or the, you know, where Kathy's like saying I love him, and but it I don't know, and maybe it was ruined because it was in the trailer, and so I had already seen that scene like 1,000 times, and then it fell flat in the movie itself. But I think that Emerald Fennell needed to be hitting that note. If you're doing fan fiction, like if you're doing fan fiction of a 1800s romance, that's what you need to be hitting every single second is the yearning. Like I need to feel it. I want to go home and feel like I need to make a fan video. I want to go home and feel like I need to, like, you know, and that's what the album does for me, but the movie didn't do that for me.
Yeah, by the time at the end of the movie, I didn't really I didn't feel much. Like I didn't feel like the emotional impact was like earned to some degree.
Yeah. So if you're not going to do yearning, at least have them like crazy fucking for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
I'm like honestly surprised to hear that that's like not what the movie is. Like, I mean, when I was taking like the CTA, like there was like a giant Margot Robbie with her hands against the wall that said like "Ride Me Wild" or something on it, and it's like you're gonna tell me that like they're not Ride fucking for 2 hours.
I mean, they do a little, but like not in any, you know, way that did anything for anyone.
Right.
No, we had very fucking a mound of dirt in Saltburn, and like
he fingers a fish's mouth. If that does anything.
Yeah, I liked the eggs. See, this is the thing. Okay, so there's a recurring thing, Dakota, since you didn't see it, with eggs, where they put eggs in underneath the covers and then they sit on the bed, and so then the eggs squish out underneath the sheets on the bed.
Oh, that's...
And then they kind of finger the eggs, and I was like, it should be all this. I want the entire movie to be fingering egg yolks.
That's like so that's what the cover is then, right?
Yeah, she's gonna dip it in some toast in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. Saltburn was like pretty goddamn horny.
Yeah.
But
I think like,
and I liked that. I thought that was good.
This is such a the reason I like, by the way, like, let me say, I love this movie. I think it's a 8 out of 10 or so. Like I gave it like an 8 out of 10 in terms of like, I think it's trying to do a lot. And it's like, I think I admire the ambition. I think like in terms of like, this is a blockbuster, like a huge expensive movie. Like that, this is like, and then like this is the movie she wanted to make her whole career. And then like she wants it to be like appealing to a mainstream Valentine's Day audience, but also have some weird kinky BDSM stuff, but also pay tribute to the story and like also do her own thing and also like have it like I think it works as like a Proustian like this is how I felt. Like, can I translate how I felt back then in on screen? Can I like actually do it? And I think she does. I think it's like I actually found it very like it reminded me of both Barry Lyndon in terms of like the painterly qualities and then The Shining in terms of the botched adaptation, but also an awesome movie in its own right. Like if you treat like The Shining the movie as its own thing from The Shining the book, that's like where it's yeah, I think like that's an interesting thing. But I guess other themes is like kind of like taking the melodrama of like femme interiority and desire seriously, like kind of like it's like the same way that like Brat like takes like the brats of the world seriously, but also kind of has like a levity to it. It's like it's silly at the same time that we're wearing these hats and like we have these like ripped jeans and stuff. It's kind of silly, but it's also like we should be taken seriously as artists too. I think in the same way, Wuthering Heights is like, you know, it's about like I want to set myself on fire. I want to like, you know, I want to like lie on a sword and stuff, and like just like these like really these intense like feelings, and they're heightened and hyperbolic, but at the same time you're treating the desire seriously. I think that's what this album is doing.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going back to that, like how strong the yearning is throughout so many songs on this album. Like I love that, and I appreciate that there's like, space for like taking it seriously, like you said, because it feels so good. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Dakota, any thoughts on like the themes of the album though? Like any thoughts on that?
Yeah,
As someone who
mean,
hasn't read
yeah.
or watched the movie.
Yeah, someone who came to this as blind as possible.
Someone who didn't listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually just guesstimating. I'm looking at the lyrics on Genius, and I imagine they sound good. But no, I like this. Like I do like this album. I don't want to make it seem like I don't by any stretch of the imagination, because everything that like you guys have been saying is totally true. Charli has such amazing creative instincts, like, hearing her talk about how House came together, and just the fact that like she read the script and was like, yeah, I could make an entire album from that. And I do think that where this sits in Charli's career is like it's not pushing the boundaries artistically or anything. But I do think, like Harper pointed out, this was a good opportunity for her to kind of go back and revisit some of the earlier sounds that she had. Like, I think the only like old sound from Charli that she's ever like written off, like being like, I don't want to do that again, is Sucker. When it with like it's more like rock oriented sound. But this was a good chance to like revisit kind of the more like orchestral elements that were on like Nuclear Seasons, and even some of like her self-titled, like the song Wall of Sound, I think sounds a lot like the song Thoughts from her self-titled, where it's almost like it's almost like a soliloquy that just happens to have like, a little bit of like music like under the surface to kind of just like, tease out those yearning emotions more. But like, on the whole, like this as an album, taking it as its own entity, I think it fits nicely in the rest of her discography, and is like a good opportunity to not necessarily like have the expectations and weight of like needing to move forward in a direction. And like that's where I think it's positive having this attached to a movie, where it like I mean, if we're grading this just by movie soundtracks, like if that is the rubric here, then like, this is like a 9 or a 10. Like a movie soundtrack that's an album has like no business being like this good and consistent. Like, you know, I think she passes with flying colors on that. But yeah, like, you know, I think that the lyrics are maybe some of the best in her career. Like, I don't think that she's a very lyric oriented pop artist, and she'd probably be I'm pretty sure she's said that in interviews. So it's cool for her to like get out of her, you know, traditional comfort zone of like using her voice purely as an instrument and getting into like the kind of melodramatic poetry.
Is this like the best movie album companion? Like there's so the ones I could remember are there's this Wuthering Heights, Charli XCX, there's Black Panther, Kendrick, there's Batman by Prince, there's American Gangster, Jay-Z, Barbie soundtrack. Like those are the ones I'm kind of thinking of. Like, but this might be the best of those. Like
I think like in terms of recent high status collaboration, like creative directors, like I mean, I would certainly put this better than Beyonce's Lion King.
oh yeah. Like
and Kendrick's, like I would probably put it above Black Panther. I feel like there's some albums that like are just escaping me right now. Like I don't know, Pink Floyd's The Wall. Like, does that count?
oh, that's
or The Who with I don't know, Pinball Wizard, whatever.
oh yeah.
Tommy, yeah,
Tommy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We used to be doling out a lot of rock operas.
Mm.
I want to shout out though the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack for Tron Ares. They recently did like a different version. I forget what they call it, but it's like, hold on, let me see what they called it. But it's like basically like the songs, they did the full score for Tron Ares, but then they also like remixed all of those songs and made them completely new, and they called it Tron Ares Divergence, which it slaps. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
bring back how was the Divergent soundtrack?
Oh, it was good. I like those ones. I like M83 is on there in a big way, kind of like,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Wait,
Um,
this is bringing back like ancient feelings.
Haim has a pretty good song on the second one. It's called Holes in the Sky. That one might be with M83. I don't know, but I listen to those a lot too. That's real Harper core.
any other themes? Any other thoughts on like because we're kind of spinning our wheels here, but like any other?
Yeah.
I just want to say the Moors as a theme. I think that a lot of there are a couple songs on this album that like kind of simulate like the kind of like the vastness of space. Like the music takes up a lot of space in a way that feels like it goes on forever, which is kind of like the feeling of the Moors, which is really Wuthering Heights. Like I think that's essential to the book and the movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I really like I think Harper, I think you were the one who brought up Enya. Was that you?
That was me.
Oh, my bad. Well, that was a great shout, Andrew. Like I think that like this is kind of like a weird like I don't know, this is like Charlie injecting little bits of like Enya or even like Sigaros like like into the soundtrack, where it's just like kind of really like she's using her voice as an instrument, but like it's just kind of this ethereal like almost weather event of like mist or fog that's just haunting the whole album, that I think is cool, that she hasn't really done before. There, like, you know, I keep coming back. Like, I don't want to sell this album short, like by just like, you know, calling it a soundtrack that's mostly a retread of like past things that she's done, because I think that is definitely being unfair to it. There's a lot of good stuff here.
Just like a quick theme of like, I think in terms of like, because like this album, she said this album is like basically I'm the mouthpiece for Kathy in this album. I'm kind of like I'm like expressing her perspective through the album. And I think like by kind of, first of all, by like having that shield, and she could kind of like draw from reality, but put it out into like a fictional character, like put it out. And so there's some
100%.
Yeah, so there's some different, there's like some distance in terms of like it's not in the pop MCU of just like this song's about this person. Like I really like there isn't really much opportunity for that, and I think the album's really great for that reason. And it's also good in terms of like servicing the character and servicing the sound of the movie. Then also like there's something to be said about this isn't a fully complete thought, but there's something to be said about there are parallels to Catherine being trapped in this beautiful mansion with this man she doesn't really love, and then Charlie being this world famous superstar who's dehumanized and overworked and like yearns so intense. Like they're both like kind of they're both kind of like caged in, but also have so much internally that they want to express out. I think that's a theme I kind of
Well, and that's just kind
on.
of being like a woman in general, right? Is like,
whoa,
having to-
man.
so I've been told, at least. But yeah, and like obviously, just like I mean, that's a big part of the movie, and I assume the book as well, of just being a woman in that time period, as far as like feeling trapped and having to conform to society's expectations and making your life choices around that.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to get into that with Kathy specifically, I mean, she has no real she genuinely has no real choice in this situation. Like, she could be with Heathcliff and have nothing, or she could go be with,
Right.
Linton and like have a life, because those are her two options.
Mhm.
Yeah. If this story took place in modern day, it'd be like, oh, we got divorced, and then now with this guy, like it's like really, there's no conflict at all.
I know.
It's like it's really sad. Yeah, let's go through highlight tracks. Like, Dakota, what's a highlight track from this album?
Man, I definitely got to give it up for Wall of Sound. Wall of Sound and House like are so good, but I think my two favorites, like I'm naming a lot of songs, but I really like Eyes of the World, because that was a
Yeah.
nice wellness check on Sky Ferreira.
Yeah.
Yes, she's
Like,
back.
Give her
Can
her
we
due.
can we actually like hashtag free Sky? Like
I think
where
she's free now, though.
I think she is. Yeah.
where's Masochist?
I think it's coming.
She's been
She's
saying
free
it's
from-
coming for like 10 years.
I know, but I think she's like actually free from Capitol Records now or something. So
okay.
I've heard, but I know it's kind of one of those things. It's like we'll believe it when we see it, but
Yeah. But because every time Sky Ferreira pops her head out, I'm like, this song is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love how buzzy that song is, and like how bombastic the chorus is. The first time I heard that, I was like, God damn! It's almost like an angelic version of the way that House kind of
Yeah,
blasts you with demon energy. And I also really like My Reminder. My Reminder is very sweet, and I think it kind of tackles this like low key, like uneasy happiness vibe that like I wish more artists did, like that I also get from like Taylor Swift's Gorgeous. like I don't know, there's like a weird like longing kind of vibe to it. But I really like My Reminder. I think My Reminder is probably my number one, and then the other three are kind of interchangeable. But yeah, once again, just got to reiterate to my homegirl Sky, free Sky.
100%.
Free Sky.
Yeah, I like My Reminder, and it's a very sweet love song. It's very like, I think like these are very bitter, like cruel characters, like because of the conditions they were raised in and such, like, and because they're like trapped in their environment and such. So like My Reminder kind of gets to that like childlike love and that childlike. I like it as like a tribute to a person you've known your entire life and has seen you in multiple contexts, but understands your core essence. So I think that's like a beautiful way to look at that song.
I'll talk about it that's a low light for me personally.
Me too.
Whoa! Wait! Whoa!
Wait, you
let's
said
get
Harper,
into
you
it.
too?
Yeah,
I just think it's so boring. I think the
a little bit.
chord progression's kind of boring. I think the glitchiness to her vocals is like trying to make up for the boringness of it. I don't like the sound of the drum machine, whatever drum machine or sound they're using. I don't know. It feels very like
It's like,
I mean, I'm not
the
a
setting
producer.
on like a Casio piano, like
Yeah, a little bit. And
I
it
think
doesn't
that's
like
kind
change
of-
throughout the whole song, and it feels kind of elementary to me. I don't
It
know.
does feel really classic Charlie. I will say that about it.
I hear what you guys are saying. I acknowledge the potential boringness. Sometimes I like boring.
That's okay.
Sometimes I like boring. And this is just one of those cases where I'm like, like it's not doing anything new, it's not doing anything exciting, but sometimes it's nice. But I will say that I really did like when it got kind of glitchy, like at the end. I thought that was kind of just like I don't know. I just thought that was like more aspects of old Charlie kind of like poking through, being like, "Hey, remember me? This is your
Yeah.
reminder."
It is funny that you said. It is funny that you said earlier. You were like, "Yeah, I think she's trying not to do like sucker style stuff." If I think you
This
said
is
that.
kind of sucker, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's like all the YouTube comments were like, "It's giving sucker core" or like shit like that. So,
you can't
I
say it's giving sucker core. By the way, that makes it like that's
I don't know,
anything.
man. You can say whatever you want these days. Like with the way the state of the world is, like let's
all right.
let's say it's giving sucker core as a treat.
I
that'll
think
give
I
me a
would like.
presidency.
I think I would like the song more if it were not on this album, is what I'll say. Because I think like it's hard for me to listen to it right after Eyes of the World and right before Funny Mouth. I think I don't know if it's a placement thing or if it's just that it's on this album at all. I don't hate the song. I just don't like it with everything else.
Yeah, some of these feel a little out of place.
I think the sequencing is it's like movie soundtrack sequencing of just like the first 5 songs are the big hits or like the big like these are the ones we want to push out there, and then the rest is just like these are things I made too, and like
Yeah, the latter.
That's a pop issue overall. I'd
Right.
say. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like having not seen the movie and having like
stop bragging.
Look, yeah, I didn't suffer the psychic damage of Wuthering Heights,
Facebook
but
check-in, I survived Wuthering Heights.
yeah.
Mark
Yeah, not having like any of that. I will say like the sequencing and flow of the album is very strange. Like especially with the album opening up with House. Like
Yeah.
like can we say that like releasing House as the first song was like such an insane song to like set expectations for the album? Because like I said, when she dropped that song, I was like, oh shit, we're getting into it, huh,
Right.
Charlie? And then like, when it turned out to be a merely like good album that was mostly a retread of, Nuclear Seasons, it was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I'm having a good time. But like, man, that House, like really
God, it's so good.
It's really
it's so good.
That's my highlight. That's
Can I
like
speak to you privately?
his voice is so it's so creepy. Yeah.
The poetry is perfect too.
Yeah. I normally don't like spoken word stuff, but it works really well. And I love like how close he's so close to the mic, it sounds like. And I will say the vocals on this whole album, there's a lot of like really cool moments where I'm like, I love just the sound of the vocals. But yeah, House, I love how quiet it is and just that explosion of sound. And that's like what I wanted from the rest of the album. And I think that's why I'm like, this just didn't do as much for me. But House, God, it's so good.
I was just gonna say really quick, like I loved everyone who is memeing like the Raven at the beginning of the House music video when John Cale is like, "Can I speak to you in private for a moment?" Like when Charlie released that teaser that was just like the bird turning its head, like all the comments were like, "Who is this diva?"
Yeah, I think it's really works in connection to the book too, because this is again something that was left out of the movie. Fine, but the book starts with like a guy that's at Wuthering Heights and he's being told the story. It's like a framed narrative, so he's being told the story. And what I really like about House is like the opening to this album is it kind of feels like this whole thing that John Cale is doing feels like I'm going to tell you the story of whatever, and that like reflects the format of the book. So I appreciated that too.
That's cool.
Yeah, and also I like that it breaks the pop like formula. It's just like this weird, like all the songs are like this like kind of fun avant-garde like play on like the typical pop structure of like building up to the chorus and then a pre-chorus and then the explosion and then pulling back and then like kind of doing that, but like doing weird sounds, like making fun, like creating a cool environment and such. But this is just like spoken word and then this explosion, the screaming, the vocal fry, the distortion. It's so awesome.
It's such a drop. Yeah, it is such a drop in the water though of like the rest of this album where it never gets to that point again. And
Well, I would say that like going from house, like Wall of Sound kind of like also continues that. Like I feel like house is just so dark and menacing, and then Wall of Sound is just such like a angelic, heavenly, like gentle spritz of an emotion. But then yeah, I mean, Dying for You is like one of the most conventional songs like she's ever written.
I like it.
No,
It's a fun dance.
I like that. I like Dying for You too. Like, but it definitely is from Dying to You until we hit like Eyes of the World. Essentially, it's like yeah, you know, we're doing what I would imagine a pop singer doing a movie soundtrack would sound like.
I do wish a lot of these songs were just slightly longer, and I wish she could like add a little extra like variety to the songs, because like Always Everywhere is one of my highlights, because again I really like whatever vocal processing she has going on. I think is really cool, especially in the second verse, but I wanted it to like the second verse, especially like if a beat had kicked in or something like that, or if some like thick drums kicked in or something, I feel like it would have taken the song emotionally to the next
Thick
level.
drums.
With a C.
Dummy thick drums.
Dummy thick. Slap their skins.
I think it's interesting, like what a like homage to the history of electronic music this album is, because with John Cale on the first track, and then also Laurie Anderson, who's like a pioneer of electronic music. Yeah, she's on Always Everywhere. She's playing viola on that song. Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's like just it's neat in that way for sure.
Also, what's his name? Joe co-wrote one of these songs.
Yeah, Funny Mouth, which I do like. I like that song.
Okay.
Joe Keery, yeah, the Stranger Things.
The Joe.
Oh,
the Joe.
D Joe.
I like I think the first 5 songs are so good. Like I'm just really loving. I'm like, is this a classic? And like, is this her best album? Like, but then it kind of like dropped off to like good and fine territory after that. Beyond like Eyes of the World and such. I really love I love the Sgt. Pepper like descending note orchestra in Wall of Sound. I think that's a cool note. And the screechy viola, like the screechy strings in the house song makes me feel really uneasy. And then the use of this album is really great in terms of like the use of silence too, like to like disorient you, because it's such a loud album. The thing that'll disorient you is like just quiet for like a split second.
Right.
Like it's really, really effective. Yeah. Chains of Love is one of my highlights too. Like
I love that one.
Yeah, it's
so
so big.
Music video.
She's just like
flipping around.
Oh yes, over the table. Yeah, it's so good.
It's crazy.
That's a good music video.
Yeah, it's funny.
I like the it sounds like Go Easy on Me by like that one passage sounds like Go Easy on Me by Adele. Like chains of love will break, go easy on me, babe. Like it's kind of the same. Like yeah. I think it's it's very front loaded. So
yeah.
And backloaded.
Okay. Dummy think
if we're talking by reminder. No, I mean we all agree that Eyes of the World. What did you guys think of Funny Mouth as a closer?
Like it.
It's a weird song, but I liked it.
I don't even remember it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I find it to be a weird note to close things out on.
Yeah, I do think it feels really different from a lot of the stuff that's going on the album. But it does break out into some really cool strings in the middle, similar to other songs, you know. I like the vibe. I don't know, it's kind of vibey, but I like it.
Going back to like what you were saying, Harper, too, about John Cale opening it, it would have been kind of cool, like hearing what you were saying about the storytelling, it would have been kind of cool to have like him doing a
close.
vocal outro or something. Especially because it is kind of quiet at the end of the album, isn't it? Like,
Can I
just
speak to you privately again? Like-
Once more.
actually have more to say.
John Cale will return in Wuthering Heights too.
By the way, like they she doesn't have a baby in this movie, so like they can't do a second movie like of this. Like the second act of this, the book is like she has a baby, and it's the next generation, and it's like correcting the generational trauma of like the situation.
The daughter is like there at the beginning during the whole beginning scene. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And Heathcliff is
Kind
like,
of
continues to
dude.
be abusive, and like he's haunted by the ghost of Catherine. Yeah. Okay.
Did you guys see the new Dune trailer?
Hell yeah.
It looks so good. I'm so excited.
I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
Man.
Anywho, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, Dune break.
Do break.
Had to do it to him.
That was good.
Oh yeah, funny mouth. It sounds like Portishead a little bit of like the drum like kind of break
I can
that's
see
like
that.
kind of piercing through a little like machine gun like doon doon like it sounds like that a little bit. It's like kind of piercing through this beautiful instrumental. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I wish there was like one more song between My Reminder and Funny Mouth. Like
Mhm.
I'm not even saying that Funny Mouth is like a bad like I think it's like a totally fine song, and I don't think it's like a bad closer. I just think like I think Eyes of the World, for me, Eyes of the World, honestly, Altars too. I like Altars. I wouldn't put it as my favorite, but I think that it's a decent tune. But like Altars, Eyes of the World, and My Reminder are kind of like a good run, and then just like Funny Mouth, I feel like I'm getting like I don't know, kind of like sucker punched, like for the ending of the album. Just maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm being left yearning for more.
Wow.
Well, this album does make me want more, but like not in the that was so good, like, but more in like I kind of wanted more from that a little bit. Like, I don't know.
A lot of these songs, again, like they didn't reach the like emotional heights that I wanted. I feel like.
Yeah.
But
The beginning and the end are the most like fully formed, and then the middle is just kind of sketches of just like concepts of ideas. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
and-
just think
Go ahead.
like some of these like Open Up in particular is like kind of designed to just be like plopped as essentially score in the movie. It's just kind
Yeah.
of like vocal bits, So I think that some of these were maybe designed to not be full songs.
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do wonder, like, you can never really do this with an artist, but like how much of like at least my own like tepid feelings like about the project as a whole is like a result of like just knowing the heights that she's been to before, Like
Yeah, 100%.
like you can't necessarily like erase that, but if like this album came out instead of Nuclear Seasons, like who knows, maybe we'd be like, dang, remember how good My Reminder and specifically My Reminder was. Who's this Sky Ferreira girl? She's got a bright future ahead of her.
lowlights. Any lowlights from this?
My Reminder.
Free My Reminder.
Sorry. I mean, I already said why, but yeah, I think it relies too heavily on vocal processing tricks and stuff to try to make it interesting. And again, the drum sound I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are songs that are not as good as other songs on this album, but like other than like kind of My Reminder, really don't have any like low lights. Like
yeah.
I genuinely listen to this album like once a day right now. So like I have since it came out. So it's all good to me.
Yeah, I think like knowing it's Charli, it's like there's not enough here for me to like I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to this on a day-to-day basis or anything. Like no shade.
Out of my way. Like,
But, like, no, I just-
guides.
I think if I want like a taste of Charli, I'm going to do other stuff. Like I'm going
Right.
to do her self-titled album. So, but again, you do have to look at it within the context of the movie. So
Yeah, I don't really think kind of the same. Like, I don't think that I really have any lowlights. Like the way that I approached this album was like, I really liked House when it came out, and then I listened to the singles when they dropped, but I only listened to the singles like once or twice because I was like, these are good. Like the album's only 12 songs. So like I really don't usually like listening to Charlie's singles when she drops them, like because I just like implicitly trust her artistic vision for whatever she's gonna drop. So like even just checking them out, then I was like, okay, yeah, these are good. I'll wait for the whole album to kind of like really get into them. Then when the album dropped, it was kind of just like a pretty binary, like, is this album part of like the Charlie canon? No, but it's pretty good. So like, kind of the same, like I'm glad it's really connecting with you, Harper, but like, yeah, I like, I don't know if I would listen to this daily. Like I would probably put this like in a pretty similar tier as like Crash, like I think Crash is it's a good Charlie album, perfectly cromulent Charlie album. But like, I'm not necessarily waking up in the middle of the night like shaking, being like, I need to listen to.
Does it indignate your life? Like,
let me retrieve the egg from under my mattress that the Wuthering Heights vinyl impressed upon.
Well, and it's like even if we don't love this, it's like who knows where this will lead her to like something
Totally
bigger,
Mhm.
So
yeah.
I think
yeah.
for me, like what makes this an exceptional soundtrack is that like it and I listen to a lot of soundtracks. Like we talked about the Divergent and also Insurgent soundtracks. I also listen to Fault in Our Stars a lot. That like a lot of these are like from 2014. So and like the Twilight soundtracks, right? So this era of soundtrack, like I think this is like the closest thing to that vibe that we've had in a long time, and like it activates in me like this fandom feeling that I long for. Like I really, so I think that's the strength of this album to me.
I do like that aspect of it. Like I wish that like I guess I like got into it a little more because there is this sort of like Tumblr aesthetic of it all where it's just like, just here's the right soundtrack for this movie that like people are gonna make edits over, and like I can totally picture like Chains of Love, like the amount of like TikTok edits I can like picture in my mind of that like is endless. Or just, scrolling through like and seeing all the GIFs on Tumblr with like the captions and like flowery fonts, like and they're
Yeah.
slightly washed out. Like I think that it's cool that this is like a thing. And this is the first soundtrack movie album that I think strikes those notes like in a long time. And if nothing else, like it is kind of just the bar's in hell for so much culture right now. So it's like kind of nice that like they at least did something like cool for this movie. Like even if like again, I haven't seen the movie, but even if the movie wasn't like what you wanted, it's cool that people are just trying.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's
I
funny-
will say, yeah, you go.
No, I was just gonna say it's funny because like the lyric videos on Charlie's YouTube are basically just like edits of like from the movie over the song. Like the song is just
That's
over the
fun.
edits. Yeah. So it is kind of like TikTok edits in a sense, but
Yeah, I mean, I just like so many of the lyrics on this album are so like fan edit or fan gif like friendly, and that's like where I got my start doing both of those. Like I did both of those things. So like honestly, when I am listening to a song, sometimes I am thinking of it through that lens, like, oh, like what couple could I superimpose this on top of, and like so like, but every time I try talking myself backwards away from my desire, something inside stops me. Like that's crazy. That's crazy that she wrote that, and that's like running through my mind all of the time. But like those two lines are like they kill me, and I think about it all the time.
He put it in your heated rivalry fan camp thing.
Literally. Yes, it's so Shane and Ilya.
Yeah, like my lowlight's altars. I think that's kind of, I don't like it when they like kind of lift like a chorus from another song and put it in the new song. I kind of don't like it. It's just like too distracting, especially with like such an original soundtrack and such an original specifically Charlie sound. Like I'm a little
Well, wait, what do you mean lifted a
Of
chorus?
course.
One is not the loneliest number. That song, like,
Oh,
Oh, like, but it's like it's you know, twist on it because it's like one is the loneliest number, but it's one is not the loneliest number, you know.
wow. The way like she like the literary license she used, it's like Emerald Fennel, like Le Fennel in
Right.
Wuthering Heights. Like,
Would you like it better if she had quotations
yeah,
in the song title?
Cited your source.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's go through final thoughts and ratings. The way this works is we'll rate this album out of 10 with a fun metric at the end. How would you guys rate this?
Loved it. Listen to it all the time, every day. I will still probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Ropes between my teeth.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I mean, this was just like fine for me. Again, I probably won't return to it. I do love to like put on a headphone. I will
Wow.
blast house, and I love to put on headphones.
That's so Addison Rae of you.
Like I really want to. Have you guys seen the guy online that does the he'll like stand in front of the subway and like play a Lorde song, and whenever the chorus of the song kicks in, the train like flies by behind him, and he's like, oh, like that's how house makes me feel, and like that's how I will return to that song quite a bit. But the rest of the album, yeah, it doesn't do much for me. I'll give it 6.5 fever dreams of mirrored features, hungry eyes out of 10.
Whoa.
That's like a medium for me.
I think like, yeah, I would give it I'll give it 8 eggs I sat on. I ran my fingers through. But the eggs are so expensive because of Trump's America. The orange buffoon. Like,
Lock 'em up.
Getting political.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like but anyways, like I think it's I think this is her Batman soundtrack, like Prince's thing. Of just like the Prince has his discography, like his like then there's like probably like 10 albums that you think of first before you go to the Batman soundtrack. And then like the fun of it is like, oh wow, Prince did a Batman soundtrack. That's kind of cool. Like, and it's like an album that's like the most about Batman any album's been about Batman, and then also like not about Batman at all. I think it's a good album. But yeah, like I think it's I think this is a chrysalis. She's working on, she's cooking here. Like she's like prepping the oven. She's like preheating the oven and like yeah. And she's cooking something here. Sharpening her knives and whatnot. Like I think this will culminate into a thing. I don't know what the thing is yet, but I think it's going to be great. But I think I think she's sharpening her lyricism. I think she's sharpening her use of like cinematic language in her art. I think this is what she's doing. So yeah, 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm probably also gonna go with a 6.5. I'll give it a 6.5 films I didn't watch for research out of 10. I think that this is like it's a perfectly cromulent album, like with some really high highlights, and then a lot that honestly just kind of goes in one ear out the other. Nothing like offensive. Like it's pretty good. And yeah, I think that it's like it's a weird album that like I think goes that takes great pains to like temper expectations, which is probably the move given like where it's coming in her discography. But like, this being like maybe Charli's worst like full length project is still like so much better than like the full projects of many other artists. So there's a lot to like here, but like, when weighing it against like the other projects that she's done, like I'm just not going to choose it over pretty much anything. So yeah, like I dig it. Not like a giant failure or anything. Like lot to like here. But I'm definitely eagerly awaiting like whatever she decides to do next in the music world, because yeah, like she's not letting those muscles, fade away. They're still very much here.
We
Yeah.
got not one, but two cromulents this episode.
Oh yeah, do you want a third?
Oh God, I don't know if I can take it.
Hey, Dakota, what do you think of this episode?
Perfectly cromulent.
there we go. Yeah, and that was our episode on Wuthering Heights, the album. We got some discourse out of, again, like just a hard album to kind of like have discourse about. Like it was a little, but yeah, I think we had a good time. And yeah, let's I don't know, what do we do now? What do you do we?
I don't know, host.
Yeah,
we can start more discourse, like
Yeah.
I got more Gossip Girls takes locked in the chamber.
yeah.
You guys have heard Dakota, I'm assuming you have, but you've heard Sky Ferreira's first album?
Fantastic. Yeah.
It's so good.
Nighttime, My Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Like
been meaning to
even the
listen to
EP before that,
That's
like
good.
every song that woman has released is a fucking heater.
I know.
Yeah,
Check
like,
it out.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, there's a heater involved in Wuthering Heights in that, like, when Heathcliff smashed that chair and he turned on a fire, and that was a heater. That was like the heater of the 18th century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tied it back. So yeah, check out the movie on Laserdisc and like, like. You can follow me at Andrew Ambrose Lee, Dakota @down_with_fun, Harper at harping about. Sean, where do we follow you now? Is it Diabetic
I'm
Twink
looking.
again? Like,
No, I'm looking.
The
You can follow
T1
my-
Sean.
T1_Sean for my personal. If you want to see me talk about books, Sean__reads on Instagram.
oh yeah,
And I'm on TikTok too.
yeah. TikTok. Yeah, you can follow follow Sean. No, yeah, do that. And then I'll also follow Stenley at Snap-a-Sten and John at John Butts is here. Sean, any final sentiments before we close?
There's this really cool band called Sorry Forever that you should probably listen to. Like Charlie wishes she could get to that level.
Are they like Nasty Cherry level?
I'm gonna say yes. I don't fully know
No,
what that
no,
means.
you guys don't remember Nasty Cherry?
What's that?
There was there was like a 1-season show on Netflix that was like making the band that Charlie ran,
Oh,
and they like formed a band called Nasty Cherry.
Whoa.
That's
I do remember
that's
this.
on like the tip of my brain. That sounds somewhat familiar.
Yeah,
I
they-
think Michael
I-
mentioned that one time, maybe.
I'm pretty sure they already broke up. Sorry,
no.
I didn't mean. What's the deal with the band? What's the deal
Everyone
with the
should
band?
listen
What's the
to
deal?
Sugar.
Oh,
Sugar is
thank
my
you.
favorite song.
That's my band, Dakota.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah. You worked on the Liz Allen album too? Like that's
Oh, I played guitar. Yeah. Sorry, Liz, if you happen to be listening to this. Yeah, I
don't
played
think so.
guitar for Liz Allen, on her album Boyish.
wow.
I played all the lead guitar on that, and we're really proud of it. So
Yeah. I like that. I like when you go like bow, 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 bow. I thought that was pretty cool.
I did what Charlie did for that chorus.
Oh man. By the okay, I guess we'll end with this fun fact I thought of. I mean not thought of.
That's a crazy way to present something you just made up. This fact I made up.
Emerald Fennell, like before she approached Charlie, she actually approached Lin-Manuel Miranda to do the soundtrack, but it started like this, like lights up and Wuthering Heights up, and then I didn't write the rest. So
That's pretty good.
this is a fun fact.
I will say, like, the discourse that would have happened if Lin-Manuel Miranda did the soundtrack for Wuthering Heights would have been a nuclear bomb.
Crazy.
That would have been nuts.
I am you, Usnelli, right?
What?
Who's Navi, but Nelly.
Oh.
I got it.
She's the narrator of like
Unfortunately.
she's the narrator of Wuthering Heights, the book. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day. Click.